Nathan, congratulations. A roller coaster of a night, 10 weeks in, but it's worth the ride. A winner in the Premier League. Just sum up your emotions for us.
Yeah, unbelievable. You know, if there was one night out of 16 weeks that I could pick, of course, it would have been this week. And, you know, I put a post on social media today about the walk-on from last year, and as soon as I was watching it back, everything went cold in my body. I was like, oh my God, I've got to do that again tonight, you know what I mean? And what a reception I've had, and the support all night. And, you know, that was, I often say that wins for me, that's wins for my family. That win was for them 10,000 fans out there tonight. The support they gave me throughout my ups, my downs, my struggles, that was for them, and to come out in the thousands tonight to support me, and yeah, amazing win.
You've done so much in your career. You've won in Vegas, the match play, the UK Open. Where does this rank? I know it's only a Premier League win, but this must be high.
Yeah, it was up there, definitely up there. You know, I said it last week. You know, the European Tour that I won last week was right up there. But again, this is, you know, I'm not going to say it's better than the match play, because it wasn't. You know, the match play bought my house. You know what I mean? This will pay for my night out tonight. But but nah, you know, jokes aside, it was a big win for me. You know, all I've wanted to do, one of my things on my bucket list was to win in Manchester. Whether it's the Premier League, whether it was a tournament that was in Manchester, just win in front of my home fans. And I did it in Blackpool, I've done it in Manchester. I'm so proud of myself that these last 3 weeks I've gone back to Nathan. I've gone back to the old Nathan. I'm smiling, I'm happy, I'm enjoying myself. Yeah, my arm is absolutely buggered, but we keep smiling, we keep playing, and we keep winning. And you know, anyone out there that is, you know, is struggling or is fed up, just keep going, because I was fed up 6 months ago, and I've won a Euro Tour, a Premier League in the last 2 weeks, and now more smiles.
I remember speaking to you in Belfast, and you were frustrated with the press that you were getting for being picked. People saying that you and Gezi shouldn't have been in. We're 10 weeks in, you're in the fourth, you've won a night, you've won a Euro Tour. Is this, inside, is this a nice feeling just to stick two fingers up at everyone?
Yeah, I think Gezi did an interview, and I think it was at the Masters maybe, about, you know, me and him shouldn't have been included, and he was like, but we put bums on seats. We bring something to the darts, and you know, we've got the passion, you know what I mean? We don't give up, you know what I mean? We have the passion, we have the will to win, and you know, I think we proved it this year. You know, I think if you ask any people who you want to watch, apart from Littler, I genuinely believe it'll be me and Gezi. I really do. And you know, we both proved why we're in the Premier League. The PDC know why they put us in the Premier League, because they know we can perform at the most pressured situations. They know we've got the minerals to do it, and there's a lot of players out there that are fantastic dart players, but you know, sometimes they can't do it. And you know, I think me and Gezi are very good pals, and we've spoken a lot about this, and we've made a pact this year to prove our worth, and I think so far we're doing it.
Thank you.
Nathan, just describe the emotions of that final, because towards the end there was a lot of laughing and joking, but was that just masking the nerves, do you think?
Yeah, my arse was going like the clappers, I'm not going to lie. I've never been so nervous in my life, and that's generally. Obviously, I kicked off back-to-back 180s in that last leg. I kind of threw the leg before away. In my head, I was thinking, right, it's now or never. You have to win this leg. I didn't want to go too decided, because the one thing with Luke Humphries is he gets a lot of stick wherever he goes for some weird reason. He's one of the nicest men in life I've ever met. Don't get it, but he gets it and he deals with it very, very well. And I thought he would not come under pressure at 5-all. I have to win this leg. Kicks off back-to-back 180s, absolutely buzzing, and then yeah, I started thinking about celebrating, lifting my trophy up, going home, seeing the missus, seeing the kids, and I'd all these emotions were going through me before I'd even hit the double. And you know, luckily for me, you missed that 170, but yeah, it was a tough 45 seconds on stage, shall I say, but I'm glad I've finally managed to hold it together.
This obviously puts you in the top four now. How crucial could it be in the race for the playoffs?
Yeah, of course. You know, top four. You know, there's a gap now between 3, 4, 5, 6, and then obviously 7 and 8. Chris and Steve. But yeah, it was massive. You know, I'm playing Gezi next week. That's a big game. I'm going to take him out tonight. I'm getting really, really drunk, so he's rubbish next week. But that it's a big game next week. I'm back in the top four, and of course, I'm so confident at the moment. You know, I've not won a trophy for 2 years, and you know, I've made 3 finals in my last 3 tournaments, I think, actually, maybe. 3 finals in the last 3 tournaments. So, how can I not be confident? You know what I mean? I'm on a wave of crest of a wave at the moment, and already looking forward to next week.
Cheers, Nathan. Well done.
Nathan, you talked a bit about that success from the last 3 weeks or so. Does it feel like something's really clicked again with you guys?
Yeah, it has. You know, I think the biggest thing for me is I spoke to Wayne Mardell after my semi-final game, and you know, everyone knows what I'm going through. I've always got injuries. I'm an absolute mad ass. I've always got injuries, but I've also got the dartitis, and you know, I've now, instead of feeling sorry for myself and got this, I got that, I'm owning it. As I keep saying to myself, I'm owning it. And yeah, it doesn't look pretty at times on stage. I can appreciate that. I've watched games back, and it's like, Nathan, what are you doing? Just throw your dart. It doesn't look pretty, but I found a technique to deal with that situation, and it's working for me. And at the end of the day, you know, I could give up. If I really want to, I could give up now and go, you know, dartitis is defeating me. It won't defeat me. And I'm battling, I'm playing my heart out, I'm giving everything to this game, because this game has given me so much. You know what I mean? And I found a way to deal with it, and so far, the last 3 or 4 weeks, it's worked for me.
And the fact that you're battling all the things, but you're possibly throwing some of the best darts of your career over the last few weeks.
Yeah, it's mental. You know, and again, you know, I just think that's a mental strength that I've got. I never know when I'm beaten. I love my life. That's it. I could quit tomorrow, go back to a 9 to 5, and Nathan Aspinall was a decent dart player, but never made it. That's not me. I want to be one of the best dart players ever, that meets headlines, that people remember. He was something else, this guy. You know what I mean? Everything that he had, and that's what I want. You know, I want my kids to grow up and be proud of me. I want my family to be proud of me, and I want to be proud of myself. And that is why I keep turning up week in, week out, battling through everything that I'm going through. And listen, I'm winning stuff, and I'm nowhere near 100%. So one day, I've been saying it for 4 years, one day I will tip up and I'll be 100% a normal human being, and then God help them all.
Well done, Nathan.
Yeah.
A year ago, you said to me you were the chap from Stockport, who, you know, the guy who never knows when he's done. Be some record, wouldn't it? Was some sort of achievement, if considering what you're going through, that you go on to defy all that and that street fighter element in you. And I can see it in you now. There's something fires you up. You like hearing that. It drives you on, doesn't it?
Yeah, I love being writ off. You know, even I do it every single week. My mate did it. He was in the hotel before we came down and went, should we check the bookies, see what the odds are tonight? And Rob Kosh's favourite. I beat him last 7 times I played him. Rob Kosh's favourite. It grates on me, but it also gives me a lot of, I'm gonna lose the bookies some money tonight. That's kind of how I feel. I love, you know, back in the day when people say you never amount to anything, I just love people. I've said it so many times without being boring. I've said it because I've had so much hate towards me in my life. That's why I come on social media now, because it was getting too bad. But no, I'm just happy. You know what I mean? I love my life. I love my family. I love my Kirsty. I love my girls. I love the support. My small network around me is amazing. They all want me to do well, and I'm doing it for them, and I'm doing it for myself.
Thank you.
Nathan, you spoke about everything that you've been through, and yet you're still successful. Do you feel like you will become, or currently are, an inspiration for other players?
Yeah, I'm having that at the moment. If I'm deadly honest with you, the amount of messages I get of people messaging me about dartitis, people messaging me about the mental side of the game, and yeah, I'm an ambassador for a darts academy in Stockport. I'm also an ambassador for a disability darts league in Stockport. You know, I try and give as much back. I've learnt a lot in this game. You know, I was fortunate enough to be with Phil Taylor, Adrian Lewis, Gary Anderson. I'm really close to the best players that have ever thrown a dart in this game. Forget about, you know, your Luke Humphries and your Nathans and your Gezi Prices. They are the best of the best. They're the creme de la creme. And, you know, I've been fortunate enough to be around them people and take advice from them. And I try and give as much back as I can. Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to be around here for long. And I see the kids that are in my academy at the moment, oh my God, ridiculous. And, you know, there's a lot of people that when I do an exhibition and we do a meet and greet, I would probably say 50% of them go, I know someone that's got dark eyes, can you help them out? And every single case is different. And you know the sad thing is, there's so many kids out there that have got dark eyes, and it breaks me heart because I know what I'm going through as a grown adult. And obviously their dark eyes is different to mine. Mine is, you know, they can't be stressed about paying a mortgage or whatever. You know what I mean? Theirs is different, and it breaks me heart because I want them to enjoy it, but I try and help as many people as I can, and I'm a big advocate for mental health, I really am. And you know, I've spoke to the PDC, the PDP, and they're getting on board now to try and do a bit more for the players and other people. So, yeah, I feel like I'm being a bit of a role model, and you know, I'm proud of that.
Nathan, well done tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nathan, massive congratulations tonight. Obviously incredible to do it in front of the home crowd. Did it just feel meant to be?
Yeah, meant to be. I said 2 days ago when I was speaking to my shrink. Yeah, gone again. Yeah, when I was speaking to my shrink, I was like, I know I'm going to get to the final. I was looking at my draw and I fancied my chance of getting Rob because I've beaten the last 6, 7, 8 times. And then obviously Michael and Dolby haven't been playing the best, so I knew I was going to get to the final. And then it was a case of who I was going to play. And I think the thing was, is because of the magnitude that I won in 6-2, 6-3, I didn't really use much energy. Without being a bigger, I didn't use much energy against them 2 players. I didn't really give it big or anything. So I had plenty in the tank, and I just had a feeling. I honestly had a feeling, and it's just capped off a fairy tale month for me. You know, winning my first Euro tour, then going back to the final, then winning tonight. It's been a mega 3 weeks, and I'm going out tonight getting absolutely steaming with the missus, and hopefully we end the night on a high.
Your first 9 attempts on double were executed perfectly tonight. Just sum up how it feels when everything's going right on stage. Obviously, you've spoke about the last few weeks. You're playing some of the best darts of your career.
Yeah, of course, yeah. It doesn't happen very often. It really doesn't. You know, I knew I was on 9 out of 9. I generally knew I was on 9 out of 9, and then some muppet whistled, and I was like, oh god. And but nah, you know when you're playing well, you know when you're finishing well, and if I'm scoring like I can score, no one can touch me. Simple as that. I give myself that many opportunities at double, I will always win. When my scoring's not there, I will aim a double, and sometimes it's not always there. Tonight the scoring was kind of up and down, but the doubling was great. So yeah, when it comes together, you know, it doesn't happen that often for us. But you can ask any player in there, when you feel like you know you can't lose. And then first two games I felt like that, and then I win the last final.
You say you feel like you can't lose. Is that something that you're looking to bring into the last part of the campaign?
Yeah, of course. You know, it's all to do with confidence. You know what I mean? I've had no confidence for 18 months. Getting the call for the Premier League was a big confidence boost, but then you go from this is amazing to I've got to perform. Then all of a sudden you're going from being confident to being under a lot of pressure to perform. Look at Stephen, bunting in the first 6-7 weeks. He felt the pressure, I felt the pressure, but I kicked off better than him. He goes and wins a Premier League night, he goes and wins the Euro Tour. You know, he made a lot of money off me last week, no dispute. But yeah, you need the confidence, and you know, 95% of this game is confidence. All 8 players in there are as good as each other. There's no one better, there's no one worse than each other. It's who's confident at the time, and I think that's what you see when people go on these runs. They're confident, they win, and you know, I'm confident at the moment. Last 2 weeks have been amazing, and yeah, can't wait to play a Pro Tour on board 14 in Rosmalen on Tuesday.
Well done, Nathan.
Thank you.